dictionary. Now the most obvious way is to just directly read a file. So the command that needs to be used is pd.read -csv and the file name, and the since we are at the same loop path, since our working directory is the same as where the file resides, we need not give the whole path. So the file name, and you can even specify a delimiter. If you don't specify it, it will assume it's a comma separated values. So if it's actually a CSV file, you can ignore this part. And if the data does not have a header, you need to say header equal to none, otherwise it will consider the first row as the header. So our data does not have a header, as we saw earlier in terminal. We don't have a header here, so we'll say header equal to none. I'll run it, and now our data frame is created. Again, we already we deleted that variable, so we need to just create the labels variable again, which has all the headers. And now I can use this list to rename my column names. So now my column names are renamed from 0122 to customer ID, name, and amount. So these are the three ways to create data frames. And the third way, that is reading directly from a file, is the one that we'll be using most of the times. The second thing to note is this is the index locations. Now whatever data that we have read into a data frame, or suppose we have created a data frame and we want to export it into a text file, we can just use df.tocs, which will dump the data into the file name that you say. Now if I run this and see, the test.txt file got created. Let's have a look at that file, cat test.txt. So it has given by default CSV file format. Let's specify a separator also. So the same way you can give a separator here. If I run this, then my file will be now pipe delimited. So this is the way you can dump the data into a file. Let's comment this. Now let's again have a look at how our DF looks. So this is the DF right now. We can actually read any of the columns and add new columns. So let's read just one column from this DF. Now just see the type of X, it will be a series value, so X0, X1, like that. You can see the values. So it's like a Pandas series right now. There's nothing but kind of list. The only difference is it has indexes and values, two things that we have. So it has a array of values and indexes. What is the command for index? We can check here. I had already written it down. So we can come back to that later. So basically it has values as well as indexes, two arrays. So if you see, the index array is this. We can play around with the values. So we can say let's say I say X equal to 1 if Y greater than equal to 5000, else we say it should be 0 for each value of Y in X. So now X changes to a list. Type of X is a list, and X are these values. Now we can see that the length of x is 6 and the length of df will also be 6 because we just copied one of the columns of df into this variable x. Now we can add it back to df by specifying a new column name. So let's use the column name that I have here, amount check, command C, and now df columns have increased. It's an integer value and now our data frame looks like this. So this is a way how we can use lists to manipulate a data frame. Now we'll move on to the last part that I wanted to cover, is how can you run SQL kind of queries on a data frame. So data frame is like a spreadsheet of data. So we can actually write commands which are pretty similar to queries. Let's say the first command that we want to use is we want to print out only certain columns, so it's like a select operation. So select star is nothing but df, just df. And if I want to I am only interested in certain columns, I can print that out as well. That is the second command. And if we want to say a where clause, like I want to limit it only to the amounts greater than 5,000, then I can write a command like this. So I can say df amount greater than or equal to 5,000. It will give me only those columns. We can even give multiple where clauses. This symbol, pipe symbol, is nothing but an or. So suppose I want to, from the df data, I want to print wherever either the name is Rahul or the amount is greater than or equal to. So obviously there is no name as Rahul. It prints only these. Let's see, Vish was there because we have a row less than 3,000. So we got both the conditions where amount is greater than 5k and the name is equal to df name. We got both the kinds of data. So these are multiple conditions in where clauses. We can even use write a group by kind of query, group by operation, where I can say, let's say group by name dot size. It will give me the count of rows for each. I can even do a count operation here, which will give by each column. So if any column had a null value or the missing value, it wouldn't have counted it. It counts all the non-missing values when I do a count operation. And when we give size method, it gives a group by, actual group by. Now let's fiddle a bit with this group by and I'll show you. Let's read the whole data of, let's say x equal to group by size, and see the type of x. So it will be a series. Right now it's a series. I can convert x back to a data frame. So I can convert a series back to a data frame. And now the type of x would have changed to a data frame. Let's say type of x will be a data frame. We can see what data is there in data frame, and I can dump this data into a CSV file. Let's dump it again to our text file. Let's see what our value of test is. So now we can have the group by output in a text file as well. Let's read that test file back again into X. So if I run this, now X holds the data but in a list format. we can pop out the first row because that is not important, that is not the group by data. Now I have data like this, and I can again change it to a array kind of thing, and I can give the labels the way we saw. I created a list of labels, and now I can just again use the same concept that we saw initially as to how we can create a data frame using a list. So if I say x equal to pd.dataframe from records, now 1 minute, something happened. Let's see what is x. Okay, so again I guess I didn't comment out, so I have to convert x into an array. Now x is like this, and our labels, now if I have to create a data frame, I'm going to use the same variable, and now x is a data frame, x dot d types, both are objects. Let's convert to numeric. Now count is changed to numeric. X looks like this, and I can say, actually name was not required, so that's how I should have popped out the name. So let's again run all the commands here. I've read, then okay, so now I run all the commands again, and now that name 0, because I popped it out using this command, that header hasn't come, and now we have a data frame. So in this lesson we have seen how to create a data frame. The obvious way is using a file, how to have querying capability on that data frame, how to manipulate a data frame as to add new columns using lists, and we have also seen how to dump the data back into a file. So this ends my session on data frame. These are the basics, and as we go to use cases we'll learn a lot more on this topic. Thank you.